okay, kids, because of this, you can't do anything else. Like, we try to really say, we'll do everything we can for you guys because we know at home it's tough.
Right, and that's why I have to drive separate because I take him with us.
Yeah.
And I have to be able to leave.
Well, you're not going to see a better day of football than that.
Pretty fun.
That was unbelievable yesterday.
Unbelievable.
Jeez.
It was a lot of fun.
Both those games are crazy. Crazy. That was super. Yesterday was Super Bowl. Those two games were Super Bowl. But Brady and the Bucks go down. And then, man, the Bills. Oh, jeez.
That was crazy.
You got to hurt to be a Bills fan. How many times can you come back and still lose a game?
Unbelievable.
God, they're good.
But they were good games.
Yeah. The Bills are good. Kansas City's good. Allen's good. Mahomes is good. They're all good. Jeez.
Yep. So who plays next?
Next weekend, it's the Bengals, and they play the Chiefs.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and then the Rams play the 49ers. And then the winner of both those games go to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah, so next weekend's pretty good.
Rams and 49ers will be good.
I
don't think so?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I read something that 49ers have beaten them 6 straight times.
Oh, wow.
But the Rams are a much better team. So, yeah, maybe it is going to be good. Maybe it's one of those weird things. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would rather next weekend they replay these games. Like, I just want to see those games again. Like,
I could rewatch it again.
Yeah, that's how good his games
they
were.
They should, yeah.
Just replay those games. That's how great it was.
And Brady tried to come back.
I mean, he did come back.
I know.
Yeah, it was 27-3, and next thing you know, I look up, it's 27-27.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was sitting there watching football. It's funny. And then Cal looks up, and he goes, "We go to football?" And I'm like, "No, we watch here."
Yeah, he wants to go to the girls' football game. So he gets in his wagon. He has all his snacks.
Yeah, the girls play flag football. Well, and then I think what he really remembers is Trey, Austin, and Charlie all played. They
co-ed
They do a co-ed league. Yeah. Where we live. And so he really, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little nuts, but I think he really started to like it.
I think he did, yeah.
And he recognized them when they were playing. Like, while they were on the field.
And I would start cheering. You were coaching.
Yeah.
So I would start cheering, and then he'd start cheering.
Yeah, so sometimes I would look over, and then he would, be pointing and clapping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I think he knows what's going on. Maybe he doesn't, but I don't know.
Yeah, he'd look for you guys and point you out. He's like, there's Daddy, there's Austin, Charlie, Trey.
Yeah. I mean, I think he sort of started to get... So anyway, so he knows the game of football. And then yesterday he was watching it, and he's like, oh. He goes, "We go to football?" And I'm like, no, that's a different football.
Well, he really likes going places. And yesterday, he had nowhere to go. So then we're watching football, trying to relax and actually watch the game.
We had nowhere to go. It's not like, we just had nowhere to go.
Right.
It was our one day. We didn't leave the house yet. Well, you
nice.
left the house yesterday. I didn't leave the house yesterday. So
I know.
It was kind of cool, though.
We had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have any rushing around to do.
Thank
God. The day before, he was in the car 10 times.
Yeah.
So when we're trying to relax and watch football, he starts seeking. So what happens? He starts getting underneath the couch cushion, and he starts gargling water, and he takes the Play-Doh and wants to eat it.
Yeah, it yesterday, probably in the middle of the Buccaneers Rams game, he started to realize that he was not the focus of yesterday. It was football, because we were all our kids even love watching football.
Yes.
So he kind of started to realize after an hour or 2 hours of that, he was like, oh, he's like, I got to do something to get this on me. And it's funny because yesterday we did a podcast, and it was the beginning of the Bucs game was kickoff while we were doing the podcast.
Right.
And we were even talking about it's been a great weekend. He's like, he hasn't had any meltdowns. And like you said, you put him in the car a dozen times yesterday to take him to all these places, and he was doing great. And then you even said yesterday, you said, well, what's coming? Something's coming. This isn't going to last. You could just feel it.
Yep.
You were right. About a little after halftime of the Bucs-Rams game yesterday, he started to
turn.
Yep.
And when he starts to turn, we call it a mood. So everyone knows. We're like, oh, okay, you're in a mood.
Yep.
Yep.
And it got to the point where, so he even Tyler was out there watching football with us, and Tyler, the rest of the kids, like, will drink water out of the water bottle, whatever, for whatever reason. Tyler has to fill up a cup of water. Like
to the top.
Yeah, it's kind of obnoxious. All the way to the top, and he leaves it in the living room.
Yes.
He does this all the time. Well, Cal was just not getting the attention he wanted, grabbed the cup of water and just dumped it all over the floor, threw the cup down, and then looked at all of us. Like,
I know.
Like
when they say seeking, it's true.
Oh, he wouldn't even, I mean, he doesn't even play off that it's an accident. He grabs it, throws it on the ground, like dumps it over, water everywhere, spikes it on the ground, and then turns around and looks at all of us. Like,
yes.
did I get the attention? I just want to make sure I got the attention that I was seeking.
Well, it's like when he gets in these moods, it's like the Tasmanian devil. You know how, you know?
Yeah, that's
like that's what our house looked like too.
So in the middle of the two games, before the Buffalo Bills game started, we went outside, and like between the games, like we'll go outside and just like get a break.
Right.
So like we're sitting on our like doorstep,
watching the game through the window,
the pregame, and we're sitting there. We're having what did you make, an ice pick, a vodka iced tea?
Yes.
So we had a vodka iced tea. We're just like relaxing. The weather has been really strange here, but we're kind of trying to enjoy it, like wearing sweatshirts and stuff, which is kind of new for us here. And we're watching the game through the window, and I look into the house, and so I can see Cal sitting on the couch, Charlie's with them, the other kids are walking around, and I'm like, I remember I turned to you and I said, oh my God, look at our house. What a disaster. I almost took a picture, but I was too embarrassed. If I took a picture, I would post it, and I did not want people to see that.
Oh my God.
I'm like, there is crap. It looked like a landfill.
Well, he got all the cushions off the couch. He got in the hall closet and got all the sheets out. So the floor is just covered. Then he dumped his toy bin out. That's another thing. When he's in a mood,
oh my God,
he just picked up his whole toy bin and dumped it out everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Then there's snacks everywhere. There's Play-Doh broken up. Oh my gosh. It's awful.
It was a legitimate disaster.
Yeah, but like I said, Tasmanian devil. So
yeah.
Just think of that happening. And he does it fast.
I guess I was distracted by football because I didn't realize while it was going on what was happening. And then we got outside, and you just have a different perspective. And I looked in, and I'm like, this is, and then I go back to, I don't know, maybe it was our second episode, and I'm like, this is why we don't have people at our house. Look at this place.
I know.
This place, it looks like somebody would have to call Child Protective Services and say, look at this dump.
You're so ridiculous.
Look at this.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Look, you just get scared that someone's actually going to do it. But it's just...
I mean, that is just so dumb.
No, it's not dumb.
God.
There were mounds of toys. Furniture was upside down. But here's the funny thing. Like 2 hours later, it's all fixed and it's all back.
Yes.
Right. I don't even want to go around the corner right now and look and see how it looks now. I'm sure it's probably fine. But then this afternoon, it's going to be like a total nightmare again.
Well, that's because you choose your battles. And I'm just like, okay, he can run around and do everything he wants to do. So we can just watch football. Because we're right there with him. But he's just destroying everything. And you know what? It's fine. Because I don't want to keep cleaning it up every 5 seconds. I'll wait till the end of the day.
Maybe we're that used to it. Like, I don't even sense that it's going on. Like, maybe we don't realize. So he's just like over the afternoon, destroying the house.
Yes.
But we're numb to it.
No, I know. I just don't want to clean it up right that second. Because what's the point? If I clean up the toy bin, he's going to dump it out again.
So you sort of sensed
I wait till the end of the day.
Yeah, so you sort of sensed it while it was going on?
Yes, absolutely. And it drives me insane. But I just relax, okay? I'll clean it up at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's because you're in a zone of football.
I must be in the zone of football.
Well, and I'm watching football, but you know all the players, and you talk to Tyler and Trey about it. So it's just...
Well, Tyler's getting in this smack talk phase where he likes to talk smack to me.
Yeah, who won the bet?
We broke even because we went double or nothing on the Bills game.
Okay.
And so I told him,
funny.
I said, the Bucks are losing today. Accept it. Get over it. He's like, you're out of your mind. The GOAT's going to win. And it's on... just go to episode 12 of the podcast. I predicted it. I said the Bucks are out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so it's on there. I mean, I can't go back and change
Except
that.
what did you say? The Bills were going to win? And they didn't.
I also said the Bills would win. And so we bet $5 on the Bucks. And then he's like, hey, double or nothing, because he said the Chiefs are going to win. I'm like, yeah, double or nothing. So he didn't lose anything. I was hoping to wake up and have $10 from him, but nope.
Our kids love talking about football.
Well, they're so competitive, and whether they're playing it or whatever. But anyway, back to the house being a disaster. It is interesting how you see it happening while it's happening, and I just, 3, 4, 5 hours later, just look up and go, oh my God, what has happened today? Like, what is going on? This is a nightmare.
Yeah, I try to just not let it bother me because it's the one day. Sunday's the one day we don't have to be anywhere.
Yeah.
Besides me working in the morning. So I want to be able to relax and do whatever we plan on doing at home. But he can't accept it. He wants to go somewhere. He even said school yesterday.
Yeah, he did. I remember that. And that's a little strange. But yeah, he was like school. He said school, he said car, he said football, and he said beach.
Yes.
So he was definitely throwing it out there that somebody better take me somewhere. Which
he likes routine. So
yeah,
he's asking for school, and then today's school, and who knows what's going to happen.
Oh, God. When I think about that. Yeah, see, it's all like, I want to go to school until you actually go to school.
Yes.
Because then he's like, oh, well, you're taking me to school because you want to take me to school. I don't want to go with your plan. Yesterday, I wanted to go to school, but he knew yesterday that wasn't going to happen. He knows when it's football Sunday. Like, he knows that I don't know, like, you got all the food out. Like, everybody's just casual.
Yeah,
right?
He's like, you want to relax? Here comes Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to watch football today? Actually, I want to go to the beach. Oh, you guys want to go to football? Actually, I want to go to school. Oh, you want to go to school? I want to go back home. Like,
I'm waiting for back home as soon as we get in the car.
That's kind of, if I had to put my money on something, it would be back home.
Oh, yeah.
Go back home. Go back home.
But yesterday, he's trying to get on the windowsill, the curtains, climbing on your back on the chair.
Yeah. Dumping over water, throwing food. He's back to, there's an area of the wall where you're painting, but he's actually ripped off the plaster of the wall. And
yeah, I had to stucco it. Now I have to paint over it.
We got to paint it because he keeps eating it.
I can paint it today.
It's crazy.
He tries, yeah.
He
tries to pick off little pieces.
Eat it. Yeah, little chips of it. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Because he's not supposed to.
I know why. I'm just saying, like, it's just.
No, you're right, though. We can't have guests in the house when it's like that.
No, people just think everything's weird and strange.
Well, we have this rug that's I don't know, like a furry rug. Like he likes the texture of it.
It's like a shag almost.
Yeah, so he rolls himself up in it.
He does roll.
But anyway,
he rolls himself up and he hides. Like he'll stay there for 2 or 3 minutes is like an eternity. He will roll himself up like a burrito, like a shag burrito, and then just you won't hear or see him for minutes.
A shag burrito.
It's a shag carpet burrito.
Well, even his toy bin, he dumped it out and was hiding underneath it. It was a lot of seeking yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The not the bin, but the basket.
Yeah.
Yeah. It fits in there perfectly.
It's funny that you don't recognize that till the end of the day because I honestly know this is just how Sundays are, especially with football, and so I just accept it.
Yeah, you must be right. I must be just so consumed with football.
Yeah.
Well, and two, I think also every family kind of finds it's their thing.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to say that football or sports is kind of our outlet.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Like even today, it's just another Monday, right? Except Tyler has jiu-jitsu training tonight, right, and Trey has baseball. Like we're doing sports.
Right.
Tomorrow the girls have football practice.
Yep.
So that has become our, I don't know. I feel like special needs families, it goes one of two ways. Either you go, okay, this is all we can do. We focus on this kid and we will do nothing else. Or you say, we have to focus on this kid and it's going to require more focus than normal. Yet we also are going to make it even more important that the other kids get something, that they realize that we're not just okay, kids, because of this, you can't do anything else. We try to really say, we'll do everything we can for you guys because we know at home it's tough.
Right, and that's why I have to drive separate because I take him with us.
Yeah.
And I have to be able to leave. So I take Tyler to jiu-jitsu on Mondays, and I just sit in the car because I have Cal with me, and I probably have 2 other kids with me because you have to take Trey to baseball. And I made the mistake of letting Cal roam around my car when it was parked and just have fun with the girls.
Not good.
That was like the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
I literally in the middle of it was like, why did I do this? Because I'm not going to be able to put him back in his seat. And it was awful. And we already have problems with this car seat, like getting him in it. So he can't, like most people would just let their kids roam around the car when it's parked, when you have to sit there for 45 minutes. I can't do that. I have to keep him buckled in his seat and give him stuff to occupy himself. And the 45 minutes goes by pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyways, that was awful.
Yeah. Thanks for the update. That was good. So tonight, I'm assuming you're not going to do that.
No, I'm never doing it again.
Yeah. You could actually probably drop Tyler off and just leave, but it's like you said, it's such a quick forward. Like, where would you go? You'd have to come right back.
I tried to go to Target one day. It's worthless.
Yeah, it's worthless.
Yeah,
You almost just,
with traffic, what's the point?
Yeah.
Anyways, we have this brown chair in the living room, this tan chair that Cal has ripped apart. We talked about it in another episode, and we have to take it to the trash. But his ABA therapist told me, like, out of sight, out of mind. We have to do it when he cannot see it being taken.
Yeah.
Or by the trash.
Well, the other issue is, too, is I think if he realizes that because he's ripped it up and then we've thrown it away, that she didn't say this to me. I didn't even talk to her about it. But I kind of was thinking the other day, is he going to then realize, oh, every time I affect something, I have to get rid of it? So is he going to just go crazy, like, oh, I have this power?
I don't know.
And then, he starts destroying everything? Like, I don't know how that's going to go.
I don't know, but he keeps trying to get the fluff out.
Yeah. Oh, well, the chairs, yeah. And it sucks. It's a nice chair. It's a really nice chair.
I know. And he likes it.
He likes it.
That's going to be the problem, getting rid of it.
He's figured out I know. You could have a whole line of stuff that just, how can you make something where these kids can't get into it and destroy it? I mean, and he's like really meticulous. Like if he finds the smallest little opening or just crease, that's it. Like he's in. He's going to get it. He's going to find a way.
He focuses on it.
I know. He sees things that we could never see. I mean, these kids are pretty unbelievable. Like our sense, sometimes I'll be like, I can't do this. I can't do that. Whether you're, I don't know, just whatever you're doing, like in your career, or let's say you're working out, and you're like, I can't run the extra half mile, or I can't lift the extra 5 pounds. Then I think about these kids, and I'm like, well, it's not that you can't, because you have the human ability to do it. Like you can keep going. You actually can.
Yeah.
Like these kids do things where I'm just like, how do they do it? But they can. I mean, I don't know what they tell them. I have no idea. But it's like, the actual ability to do it is there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he does things that I'm like, how do you do that at your age? Even his strength at his age. He's not even 5. I mean, he moves furniture all around the living room.
I know. I posted a picture on Facebook yesterday of him getting underneath the couch cushion. And that big part of the cushion's heavy.
Yeah. I mean, he does, even when like we try to get him in his car seat and he fights it, I'm like, how do your muscles, how are you this strong at 4.5 years old? Like
super strong.
Yeah.
But that's why the behavioral specialist, ABA therapist, that's why it's important at this age, early intervention. Because when he's 10 years old, he's going to be super strong.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you see that on a lot of these social media pages of people like, I could handle this when my kid was 8, but now he's 18 and he's straight up. I mean, this one post last week, it's tough. I mean, the guy was writing he's like, our son is like physically abusing us now, and like it's hard. We really can't control him.
Yeah,
like,
that's sad.
He's fighting them, and winning.
That's awful.
Yeah, and he said like we have marks on us. Like he's fighting us a lot, and he's like, I've come to realize like he's bigger than us now and stronger.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about the strongest man in the world.
Yeah, I just read that article that I meant to post that in one of the episodes. I don't know that I ever did in the show notes. I'll try to go find it.
I don't think you did.
But at some point, I don't know how recent. I do believe this is pretty recent. But the strongest man in the world is autistic. But that does, if you live with this, like that does not shock me.
Oh yeah.
At all. Like honestly, you could almost see the blankest whatever in the world, Like just fill it in. One day maybe all autism because of the focus. Like the best chess player in the world, the best tennis player, the strongest, the fastest, you know what I mean? Like you could just fill it in because when they focus, it's almost unbeatable. Like, you know what I mean?
It's true.
What are you doing on your phone?
I saw this article about a kid in our area actually won he's like a piano player. Like he won this award.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let me see.
The Pinellas County Schools actually sent that out, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's the first time.
Yeah, and he's an autistic kid. I thought it was pretty cool.
See, and that stuff I don't know, like that doesn't, and don't get me wrong, that's great. And his parents, like it's awesome to be celebrated. Yet none of that really shocks me when you start talking about autism and the focus.
Well, he's the first piano student with autism to earn a spot on the Pinellas County Schools All-County Honors Band. That's pretty cool.
No, it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're right. The focus is there.
Yeah, I mean, so the reality is he's the first kid that maybe was diagnosed.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Because there are, I mean, this has been going on forever, probably since the beginning of time or close. And there's no way on these little these smaller focused, segments where it's the first time. There's just no way. I mean, there's just no way. Like Elon Musk, right? He's like, hey, I have autism. Well, he's not the first really business leader, to build a great company with autism. Just the first one that maybe admits it.
But so when did he get diagnosed? I mean, I thought there was a cutoff on age. Or can you not get diagnosed by? There's something about 3 years old. Well,
okay, so there's the insurance. I think for the insurance and all that, I do believe that that there is an age that because there was just a lady who recently she got arrested for saying that she had autism, and she was trying to get all these medical benefits, and I believe she started to get them, but she faked a diagnosis, like she fraudulently created papers and everything like that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so there are people that try to do it. It isn't. We always say this. It's probably another podcast. But yeah, how there are people that wake up one day, however old you are, and go, "Gosh, I think I'm different than other people. I may have autism." And it's probably true. Well, of course it's true.
Well, like you said, we're all on the spectrum somewhat, and that's what the doctor said.
That's what I think.
Everyone has a little piece of something,
Right. It goes back to, it's like everything else in the world, control. Who can control it? Like who can, manage the things that you have to manage to be considered. Now this is where the words get crazy and people go nuts. What's the word? Normal, typical, understandable,
Typical.
I mean,
typical is the word that people like to use because people don't like to say
I know.
normal.
I know.
Which, you know what? Dealing with it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me to say he's not like the rest of our kids because he's not.
No, it's the oversensitive, and it's always a segment of the population who just get up in the morning and they're just so angry at everything, and they're just so angry. And it's like, yes, you were dealt this hand just like we all were. And it's just, but you see them all over social media and they just get so angry. Let me tell you, those people are doing such a disservice to, this will really piss them off, normal parents dealing with autism, the people that don't get up in the morning and are just so angry and are playing the victim card. You know what I mean?
I don't have time to be angry. And you know what? It takes a lot of energy to be angry.
Oh, my God.
A lot.
You're right. And it actually goes back to yesterday what we were talking about. I think those are the people that start to look bad, feel bad, act bad. Like they have the scowl on their face. They're just they let their health go. They start eating like crap. And then they blame everything on this scenario.
Yeah.
Because they're just angry and they get so mad at the world. And it's like, what? I mean, I see these people on social media and I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Like, you came here to pick fights with, why are you doing this?
Yeah, they need to focus on positive energy because that negative energy is not good for anyone.
Or just go away. Just go away.
But, choosing, you have to really choose your battles. Because, yesterday when I, just let him destroy the house and said, I'll deal with it later that day, what's the point of like focusing on cleaning it up and everything right that minute? Because then I can't enjoy my day, you know?
No, it's really true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a lady yesterday on one of these Instagram pages, and I saw this, and I promised myself I'm not going to talk about it. And now I'm like, well, you know what, whatever. And it was a meme. It was lions, right? So it was basically like the king and it was something like, I don't remember the actual words, but the king and the queen were chosen to fight this battle. So there was a dad lion, you could just tell.
Right.
There was a mom lion, you could just tell. And they had their like heads together. And then there was a baby lion underneath them, and they were holding them. And then they had the autism, the rainbow, and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it was like the king. It says sometimes the king and queen are chosen to fight the battles, right?
Right.
Oh my God, the first comment. You know, we're supposed to be about inclusion and equality, and yet we just can't seem it has to be a man and a woman. For some reason, it's obvious that this is a man lion and a female lion. And for some reason, we just can't be about equality. Basically, this woman was saying, and so I couldn't resist. I get on her page just to see like what else she writes and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's just all like, why are you saying that autism only happens to a dad and a mom? And it's like,
oh my gosh,
lady, you are the worst. You are the absolute worst ambassador for autism, or actually any special needs. Like, you came here and you're so angry that this meme clearly shows a masculine lion and a female lion. They have a kid, which, by the way, I don't know of any other way that we have kids.
Right.
I'm not saying that two women or two guys can't raise a kid. They can, and many do it well. But to actually make the kid, it does in fact have to be a man and a woman.
Right.
And if you don't believe me, go figure out who made you.
Yeah.
And you'll probably come to a stunning conclusion.
Oh my gosh.
But you know what I mean? Like those, and it's not many people, but this lady's loud, and she writes on all the pages. Like, she's just insane. And I'm like, so when people come to these pages and they're actually looking for like, hey, is kind of like I was like, hey, is anyone, like, you're sort of kind of raising your hand, like, hey, is anyone else like me out there?
Right.
Like, is anyone else kind of new to this and sort of like, I don't really understand and I'm trying to learn, and I go into social settings and I'm sort of embarrassed, you know, but then you meet this lady who's just like, I can't believe it. You know, we're supposed to be about equality, and look at these memes. This is embarrassing. And she said this should be taken down immediately.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Isn't that terrible?
Yeah. No one has time for that.
No. But that, I mean, it's like, anyway, my point is, even in like the whole like special needs and autism and everything, you still have those people who are just whining and crying and bitching and moaning. And It's really a bummer. You know, it's just like, it's such a bummer. Like, but it's just, that's the world. And that's, you know.
Well, I do like that autism's logo is a puzzle piece, because all these kids are just a piece of the puzzle, and not one are the same.
No, you're right.
They're all different.
It is.
And that's why you can't figure out what to do with one kid fits to the other kid, you know?
Yeah, I think
like, our typical kids are typical kids. We've done everything the same way. Him, you can't talk to another autism parent and say, this is how it's done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, right. And so when people use the words typical and normal, a lot of people get offended. And I'm like, well, you can get offended all you want. But the reality is, if I say, hey, Trey, go brush your teeth, he'll be like, okay. And he'll just go do it.
Right.
Right? Like, try to do that with Cal.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Trey, stop peeing in your pants and use the toilet. Okay, he'll do it.
I know.
Trey, well, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
There is, people hate it, but there is a baseline. There is a typical, there is a standard, there is a normal. Like,
and it's okay.
Yeah, and it's okay. It's okay for something to be normal and typical and regular and standard. Like, you don't have to be so triggered and angry. It's okay. You know, what's not okay is if you don't change your approach to it.
Right.
When something isn't typical, normal, standard, and you just refuse to accept how you have to deal with it and how it changes your life. You know, it's like, yes, we're more tired, we're more frustrated, we're more, you know, again, now we're filling in the other words, but that's just part of it.
Well, and if you are in denial and you're not getting your kids the help they need, we've talked about before, you're going to be the one taking care of them later in life when they're 20 years old. When your other typical kids are growing up and getting jobs and taking care of themselves.
Or not. Or you're going to get taken care of. That's how I see it with this.
What do you mean?
Well, if you kick this can down the road.
Without getting the help.
I mean, and just deny. It's kind of like, unfortunately, those people that posted on that Instagram page the other day, who now their kid is beating them up. Like, either you take care of it or you're going to get taken care of.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, because you're going to get to a point where it's like, it's going to be, I mean, I don't know. Like, you're going to have to make some probably really tough decisions later on in life, or you're going to have to watch a scenario that is really tough to watch. Either, I don't know. I mean, it's different for everybody, but I would imagine there's going to be some guilt there.
Yeah.
Down the road. And I'm talking about people who just, I'm not talking about, okay, I got my kid diagnosed at 2 instead of 3, or, because we've all, I mean, we had some denial and we've gone through all the stages. Like,
right.
This isn't true. This is true. Oh my God, it's happening. Oh, it's not really happening. It's sort of happening. Oh, it happened. I mean, we've kind of gone through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the people that just don't believe that autism is a thing or special needs is a thing. They get to a point, I know, and you just go, oh boy, this is now we're in a hole.
Well, so yesterday he was doing his Tasmanian devil thing, and then part of...
Is he not up, by the way?
No, but I'm going to make sure he's up at 8, so we don't have much time. We'll have 20 minutes. So part of before he was diagnosed, he literally could not sit still. He was super hyper. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Super hyper. And even when I was getting him diagnosed that day, like, he couldn't sit still in the office. And it just made me think about how some people get diagnosed with ADD at an older age. A lot of like college kids and stuff to like focus in college.
Is that...
is not... What?
I was going to say, is that how they find autism in older kids? Did they just say ADHD or ADD or... No,
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm saying, for instance, there's college kids that go get medicine for ADD. You can't just do that with autism. You can't just go and say, I have autism, And yes, there are some autistic kids that do take medication, but I'm just saying it made me think about that, how some people are diagnosed with ADD that don't necessarily have it. And autism is not a thing like that. You can't just, you know what I mean?
There's not, no. But I kind of remember it was a thing back when I was in college the first time. Kids would go and fake these symptoms, and they would get, I forget what it was, but
Adderall.
And they would drink with Adderall because
which is very dangerous.
Yeah, and their thing was they could drink and never really get drunk.
And then study and do all their stuff.
They could do everything.
Yeah.
But they would have a buzz, like a drinking buzz.
Right.
Like that was a thing for a while. I remember that.
Too.
And kids were faking it, and doctors were handing it out. And
yeah,
then
so
kids
I don't
would
know.
Sell it. I never did. I mean, I never have done hard drugs, but
no.
I'm just kind of like, I remember that now. But yeah, you just can't you can't say, oh, my kid might be a little autistic. Like that sounds crazy. And then, hand them some Adderall and then everything's better. That's not how this works.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
But there are people that want it to work that way. Because again, we go back to, we've said this episode after episode, we all want a one-size-fits-all, easy, swallow-the-pill solution, right?
Right.
Like, oh, give him a little Adderall, he'll calm down.
Well, and I think as you get older, actually, I don't think that they can say autism. Actually, I think I read after a certain age they were calling it Asperger's, but
I don't know that do they do that anymore?
No, they don't. When
right.
he was diagnosed, they said we no longer say Asperger's. Like there's just different levels of autism, So it's like I said before, high functioning or severe, and Cowell's in the middle.
God, I know.
And it can go either way.
I know.
Depending on the amount of therapy. That's why it's not good to be in denial, because then it's going to go to the more severe stage. And then you're dealing with a 15-year-old, 18-year-old
This is the weird thing, right? It's just think back in our lives. I mean, I remember in elementary school, there was a special needs wing, area.
Right.
And there was a sign, literally a sign, when you would walk in there, and the sign said mentally retarded. And that was how we how those kids were classified.
Yeah.
They were mentally retarded kids.
Yeah.
That was I know these days people get all upset, but back then that was how doctors talked.
I know.
Doctors would say this child is mentally retarded. And if you look at the word retarded, it just means that it's down, it's back, like if you get a fire extinguisher, it's a fire retardant.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it quells fire. But back then that's how and then Asperger's, you can't say that anymore. And then, it's like we spend so much time with these words and classifications, and all it really does is get people mad. It's never really helped, I don't think, anybody.
Yeah.
Actually, right?
I know.
And sometimes I wonder if we come up with new words so that they can come up with new medicines to make money, right? Like,
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, in 10 years, isn't there going to be a pill for autistic kids? Not a cure, because we've all figured that out. That's not going to happen. But in a moment of panic or something, won't there be a little thing?
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be like, hey, if your kid's having a meltdown, just put this on their tongue.
Well, there's special gut vitamin stuff already.
Well, they're just probiotics.
Yeah.
But they market it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it all over Facebook.
And a lot of autistic kids do have gut issues. So then they sort of twist the marketing a little, and they're like, oh, look what we found.
Right.
An autism belly pill. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, but it's never really helped anything. But yeah, it is interesting. Like, it goes back to Asperger's, and actually, there are people who say I am autistic, and I'm like, really? Like, I would not have guessed that. And if someone's like, well, why wouldn't you have guessed it? And I just say, well, I have a kid who is also autistic, and you act nothing like that. So why would I guess that you are autistic when you act nothing like my autistic kid? Then again, I also realize that autism is different.
Yeah, and then it's just a piece of the puzzle.
It's
They're
just
all
a piece
different.
of the right. But they get mad. They're just like, oh, don't tell my autism's not like your kid's autism. I'm like, yeah, right. But this is just my experience with it. Like, I don't know your experience with it. Why should I? And why do I have to understand your experience? I can't. I'm barely understanding mine.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
I know. No, but like the ADD thing and college kids and stuff, you can't fake autism.
Mm-mm. Yeah. No. I mean, I think there's people.
You're diagnosed, and it's a process to be diagnosed.
Yeah. You know what else you can't fake either, too, is parenting it.
Yeah.
And there are parents out there, and really, God bless them, who have tried to put this under the rug. Yeah. And it's denial. And my God, I give you all the credit for saying, nope, something's wrong and we're going to do something about it. I don't know that I would have done something about it.
Yeah, that's just me. I had
when
to.
you did. I would have eventually.
Yeah, but then you're losing all these years of therapy.
Imagine, yeah. We say it all the time. This is with a diagnosis. This is with therapy. This is with speech. This is with OT. This is with ABA. This is with a school. I mean, and even at that, it's like, oh my God, this is with all that?
I know. All right, we got to go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. You're pulling the trigger.
We got to go, man.
He's not awake yet.
I know. I got to get him up.
All right, we're out.